Hey everyone, and welcome back to the EdgeVerse Techcast. As you know, this is the place that you go to find everything that you want to about the NXP software, tools, and enablement. I'm Kyle Dando, and I'm one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Bridgette Stone. Today's episode is a fun one because we're talking about a partnership that a lot of our customers and honestly, a lot of our internal NXP sales teams have been asking about. It's NXP and Toradex.
You're right, Bridgette. We're going to dig into how Toradex supports developers. And this is an interesting episode because we're jumping back into our application processors. Toradex has been a great supporter of the NXP i.MX processors. We're going to learn about what Torizon OS is all about and specifically how it supports those i.MX application processors.
And we'll also cover how developers can actually get started today, whether they're early on in evaluation or have been thinking about long-term deployment and compliance.
So with that, why don't we bring in our first guest, Daniel. Welcome to the EdgeVerse Techcast. Why don't you just take a little bit of time to introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about you and a little bit about Toradex.
Yeah, hi Kyle, hi Bridgette. Thanks so much for having me today. My name is Daniel Lang, and I'm now the Chief Marketing Officer for Toradex, and I'm also the General Manager for our Torizon platform. My background is electrical engineering, and then I did software development for quite a while before I moved to the dark side. I'm now in the marketing and management of Toradex.
Well, we like to call those engineers that move from development to marketing, or the dark side, as you put it, we like to call you unicorns.
Yeah, and I think I've been a unicorn for years.
That you have, Kyle.
Yeah.
I have to admit the truth on that one. So appreciate you guys being here. Daniel, let's start from a high level. For developers using NXP devices, how do you describe what Toradex actually provides? What problems are you helping to solve? And maybe end with how Torizon OS fits into that story.
Yeah, of course. So Toradex is a partner of NXP for many, many years. We're one of the few platinum partners. For example, we built one of the evaluation boards for the i.MX 9.5. We like to work with NXP because you're targeting the same customers. Toradex is really going for products and vertical where reliability and long-term availability is very big, such as industrial automation, and medical devices, transportation, now also a lot of robotics and green energy. What Toradex is really doing, we make embedded computing easy on the hardware and the software. It's all about taking what you're doing and making that easy accessible for our customers.
That's a great point, especially when you're talking about long life cycle, highly regulated industries. So when you think about making embedded computed easier for customers, how do you break that down? What are the building blocks you focus on?
Yeah, good point. So we have on the hardware side, we mostly focus on system on modules. They're computer modules, so we take your chips, but we already integrate the DDR RAM, power management, Ethernet part, even Wi-Fi. We put that in an easy-to-use module. So for our joint customers, it's much easier to develop product. They can focus on what they are good, what's their knowledge, and they don't need to worry too much about routing of DDR lines and things like that. And then on the software side, we're doing this with our Linux support. Now we bundle that together in Torizon. That includes tooling, services, and also cloud solution for over-the-air update. There we abstract a lot of the complexity. For example, NXP have this really nice edge lock secure enclave, but it's not so easy to use. So Torizon abstract that, so it makes it much easier to use. So people can focus on their application and they don't need to worry too much. How do I do a Yocto build and all of that?
All right. Well, we hear a lot of interest about Torizon OS. A lot of people come in the office and they're talking about Torizon and the advancements we've worked on with you guys. Can you talk to our listeners and walk us through where it started? How has it evolved and why is it resonating so much recently?
Yeah, Torizon really started as a solution to bring our customer from the very old Windows CE or from Windows to embedded Linux. And originally how you do that is you build your own Yocto project, and that's a great way and something we supported and still support. However, it's a very steep learning curve. We needed a solution for that. So Torizon helps people which are not coming from this Linux world to use Linux devices. But if you, for example, come from Windows, you can continue using .NET. You can still using your Windows development PC. It's even very easy for people who maybe come from Android development or web development to move over to embedded Linux.
Okay, now that you've provided all of these users with different backgrounds and easy-to-use platform, can you detail what key software challenges that Torizon helps to solve?
One is really that we bundle Torizon up, so you don't typically need to use your Yocto toolchain. So we have something called Torizon Core Builder. So even you want adjustments for your own design, because maybe you have 2 Ethernet or 3 Ethernets, or you have different display, different configuration, so that you don't need to do all of that. We have a tool which is called Torizon Core Builder. So this is one big part. Other very big part, and also now especially amplified with the EU Cyber Resiliency Act or with the new regulation of the FDA and in medical devices, people need to worry much more about cybersecurity. As mentioned, NXP chips support secure boot, they support encryption, they support a lot of hardware-based security. But for our typical customers, it's not so easy to leverage this. So we invest a lot to make that much easier accessible so people can have secure boot and encryption enabled in a much easier way.
So let's transition over to hardware support. Which devices support Torizon OS today? And specifically, what does support for the i.MX 9.3 look like, both now and on the roadmap?
Yeah, so Torizon is already supported on all Toradex-based system-on-module and single-board computer with NXP chips. That includes modules with i.MX 6, with i.MX 7, with i.MX 8, and with several of the i.MX 9 SoCs. But Torizon is not just for Toradex hardware. You can really use that in any NXP-based design, also chip downs, right? So that's very interesting for the salespeople here. Anybody deploy on any of these chips, they can leverage Torizon. To make that even easier, we partner with you and we have Torizon ready to use on the Freedom board with the i.MX 9.3, and we're looking to extend that to other Freedom boards.
All right, so now let's dive a little deeper into the technical challenges that Torizon solves. I know you've touched on quite a few, but from a software engineer's perspective that are listening today, what's the biggest technical advantage that Torizon offers? You've touched on a few. What real problem are you solving when it comes to building with NXP devices?
Yeah, so we touched it on a few parts in the product life cycle. One is really in the development that you directly can focus on your application. We have partnerships with Qt, with Codesys, with Crank, with databases, with AI tool sets. We have integration with Visual Studio Code. Then we solve the problem of updating your system. Originally, we were really designing Torizon to enable for an agile, fast, and iterative approach. So you have a very secure and very reliable way to do over-the-air updates. So there's a lot of checks to roll back to keep your device always running. Because our customer there are in products where reliability is key. Then we also allow you to monitor the devices. Again, reliability. So for example, when you lock stuff to the flash memory, you have to be very careful because you can wear out the flash. Our device monitoring allows you to monitor wear level of the flash. So for example, you can see if I continue logging like that, the flash will be dead in 2 years, but the device maybe has to be in the field 5, 10, 15 years. So you get a warning, you can see that, and then you can fix it. There is even more. You can get remote access, so you can help with debugging. A lot of technical problems. We can go here in depth if you like.
No, that's great. You've touched on quite a few. What's the Visual Studio Code aspect that you guys offer customers? Because NXP, we've been a big proponent of VS Code. What are you doing with the VS Code?
Exactly. So our VS Code is, of course, focusing on the Linux side, right, on the application side. And it basically helps you abstracting a little bit containerization. So we use Docker container in the default configuration. So it set that up, everything for you. And we have something called templates. So if you want to work with Qt or Rust or any other framework, we have a lot of templates. Some maintained by us, some maintained by our partner, and you can open that and basically get started. It sets up your debugger, it sets up everything, and then you can develop like you would develop for a desktop PC. So you don't really feel that embedded specialty. You have all the conveniences. You can set breakpoints and everything works. So there is no hours to set up your environment. It's really minutes and you're ready and you're productive in a very nice environment.
That's great. Yeah, I love VS Code. I use it every day. Why don't you talk a little bit more about security? You mentioned the CRA. Those have been very popular episodes on our podcast. Can you talk about how you help with the security aspects?
Yes, it's a great question. And at the moment, we really see the biggest push for Torizon comes from the requirements to comply with the CRA. And we focus on many different aspects. We do the secure over-the-air update. We have the secure by default. We enable secure boot, which is very important. But we even do more. We create SBOMs for all things we do, and then we monitor the SBOMs. We analyze all the vulnerabilities, and we constantly monitor that also for software which we already shipped. Then if there is a new known vulnerability, we analyze that for you. So our security experts, so really humans, analyze the vulnerabilities, they understand it, and they give you hints what to do. They explain it in clear words, so you don't need to be a security expert. Do I need to patch that, or do I even affected? Because when you just scan an SBOMs, you will get so many vulnerabilities, and most of them are not exploitable, so you don't need to fix that. But to find that out, it's not always trivial. So this is a huge advantage if you use Torizon and use the vulnerability manager in there.
That's great.
Yeah, that sounds like amazing customer support. So thanks for sharing that. For our developers listening who are thinking, okay, this sounds very interesting. How do they actually get started? Where do they go? What does support look like? And what should they expect in terms of cost?
Yeah, good question. So to get started, the easiest is really use any of our Toradex boards with the i.MX SoC, or use the Freedom boards, the i.MX 9.3. They're ready to go, so it's very easy to install, and you're basically up and running in minutes. It's free to get started. We have a free maker tier. Also, Torizon OS is completely open and free, so it's open source, so you can contribute, you can use it however you want. With our partnership with NXP, you even get a maintained system for the Freedom boards. We constantly update it and keep it maintenance. It's really free to get started. If you like to use the cloud part, which follows a standard, so you can also implement your own cloud, but if you like to use that, we have a developer license, which is $2,500 per year, and that gives you access to over-the-air update, remote access, device monitoring, some vulnerability monitoring, and so on. If you talking to customer who would like to do their own design, so they don't like to use Toradex hardware, they would like to do their own on i.MX 9.3, 9.5, whatever, they can also use that, and they can just directly use Torizon OS, or maybe they would like to have a maintained Torizon OS. Toradex can offer a maintenance contract, so we constantly update it, or we have partners who can do that, or again, it's open source, so many customers can just do that by themselves.
And can you elaborate a little bit on the Torizon Cloud Connector for us?
Yeah, so exactly. So this is a very easy way also to get started. We also have the Torizon connector, and that connects any Debian or Ubuntu-based system with NXP or even an x86 system to the cloud. That's also a good way to get started with Torizon Cloud. You will not have all the features, so you will not have some of the security features of the NXP SoCs available, but you will be able to do application updates. You will be able to do remote access. It's like one line you have to install, and you can get your device connected to the Torizon Cloud.
I know you mentioned earlier that for the support and being able to have a customer pick up the phone, I think that's something that you guys should be very proud of. And a lot of people may not even know how to use their hardware. Can you talk a little bit about your developer center or FA support around the globe?
Yeah, when I talk to people about Toradex, many times they know us because of our developer center, because of our community. They may not even use Toradex hardware yet, but our developer center and our community are very popular. We also have an AI bot, which helps, but it's going to be reviewed by humans. But it even goes further, right? So Toradex is really a global company. We have support centers all over the globe in North America, East Coast, West Coast, South America. We have people, of course, in Europe. I'm in Switzerland here. We have people in Japan, in China, in India, and you can get local support in all these major languages. So you can call us up. We can visit you. We are always close to you, and we are very happy to help you.
Daniel, actually, I remember now the comments I've heard about Torizon and Toradex actually came from our FAE event. We had a large group of FAEs coming in, and all of them were asking about the support and what we were going to do next with Torizon. Our distributors really understand the benefits of Torizon. You definitely have a global support community that is excited to share with customers. Now, Daniel, I'm going to put some of the resources into the episode notes, contact information, maybe some immediate information on the Torizon software and how they can get started. So we'll drop that in the episode notes. For our listeners, today we talked about how Toradex and NXP have worked together over the past. And also we introduced what Torizon OS brings to the table, how it's going to help support platforms like the i.MX 93, and how it's going to get you started from the evaluation all the way to the long-term deployment and compliance. I specifically enjoyed, Daniel, when you talked how Torizon helps customers trying to comply with the upcoming regulations of the Cyber Resiliency Act. NXP has so many powerful security features. It's great to see that Torizon helps unlock these for our customers. Daniel, thank you very much for the time you spent today and helping us better understand Torizon.
Yeah, thanks so much. As you said, if anybody has questions, reach out on our support channel, and we really love to go into more details and explain all the value it has for you. Thanks so much.
Yep. Thanks, Daniel. And for our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And if there's a topic you'd like us to cover, please drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you.
And until next time, keep innovating, keep Torizon on your horizon, and we'll catch you on the next EdgeVerse Techcast.